It's a very sad day for us Honda enthusiasts, guys. I'm sure if you're a Honda enthusiast, you've seen the information leaked online about the 2025 Civic. I've kind of been dreading this information coming out, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys all that I know right now for the 2025 Civic and the powertrain options available. If you've been following my channel for the last year on this 2023 Honda Civic Sport hatch 6-speed manual with the K20 up front, you'll know that I kept saying for the last year that you should probably hop on one of these because they're not going to be here much longer, available brand new from Honda. Well, the information that's been leaked online does confirm that. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to purchase a Civic in 2025 with a manual transmission unless you buy the SI or the Type R. They're no longer going to be offered in the hatchback sport trim and the hatchback sport touring trim. So when the 2022 Civic came out and they refreshed it with this generation, this interior you're seeing here, they dropped the manual transmissions altogether from the sedan models. They kept them with the two hatchback models I just mentioned, the Sport and the Sport Touring, but they were slowly weeding them out, and here we are now. It's kind of sad to think, and it's crazy to think that Honda, back to like the 1970s, has always offered a vehicle in their lineup brand new that you could get with a naturally aspirated engine and a manual transmission, and starting in 2025 that will no longer be the case. Alright guys, so this is the information I'm talking about here that I saw leaked online. I don't know for sure if this is 100% solid for next year, so don't hold me to this, but it seems pretty solidified and it's been shared quite a few times. This is from Honda Canada, and this is like a look at the lower trim Civics, excluding the SI and the Type R, and the main things I want to show you here is their trims they're offering. Honda did surprise me because I was predicting them to drop the 2-liter, and they're not. You can see there's a 2-liter in all the lineups here. So the one thing I want to say about that though, and not many people are talking online, is it is not the same 2-liter that's in the car I'm sitting in right now. The K20 C2 is going to be dead starting next year, and this 2-liter inline 4-cylinder under the sport category right here is not marked off as the 2 hybrid motor system, so it is a naturally aspirated 2-liter engine. But when you scroll down, you can quickly see that it is not the K20 C2 anymore. The first thing that stands out to me is it is now going to be direct injection. You're not going to have the old school reliability of the Honda port injection anymore starting next year. The displacement is different, slightly different than the K20 C2, and that comes right down to here where you see the bore and stroke. The bore on the new 2-liter here is 5 millimeters smaller than the K20 C2. The K20 C2 is an 86 by 86. So what that means is 86 millimeter diameter piston and a 86 millimeter stroke. What we have here is a piston that is smaller in diameter and a larger stroke. And if you look to the right, it is the same exact spec for all of these cars. So basically what Honda's doing is streamlining their Civic powertrain options here, and the engine that's going to be in these new Civics is either going to be naturally aspirated without the electric motors attached to it, or you can pay for the Sport Hybrid or the Sport Touring Hybrid up here, and the engine will have the electric motor mated with it. So take a scroll down. What's even more disappointing is new 2-liter without the hybrid motors attached makes 150 horsepower at 6,400 RPM, and torque is 133. So the K20 C2, even without the direct injection, is 158 horsepower, so you're down 8, and the torque number is even lower on the new engine too. And the biggest takeaway of all that is everything here comes with either a CVT, which is a regular CVT on the sport trim here with a naturally aspirated engine, and the eCVT is going to be on the hybrid models, which is basically not a belt. I believe it's going to be more of a direct drive system where the engine engages with the electric motors via a clutch that's controlled electronically. Of course, these are all going to be front-wheel drive. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think here. This is pretty disappointing to me as a Honda enthusiast all my life, and really sad to see these days are ahead of us here. These changes in Honda's lineup are going to make the manual transmission vehicle for Honda a lot more expensive now, because this car I'm sitting in was around $25,800 MSRP when I purchased it. Of course, you got to add tax and whatever fees from the dealer onto that, but a relatively affordable in 2023 car, brand new off the dealer lot, that has a manual transmission. However, next year, if you're looking to buy your first car and you want the manual, all you have is the SI or if you want to spend a ton of money, you know, like $60,000 after sales tax and fees, you can get the Type R. Those are your only two options you're left in the Honda lineup with. The SI has the 1.5 turbo. That's the only trim in 2025 that's going to have the 1.5 turbo. They're dropping it from their standard Civics, and they're dropping the K20C2 from their standard Civics. I did not expect them to drop the 1.5T from the standard lineup. As I mentioned in my last video, Civic's going to have 4 powertrain options, and I guess it still technically does. It's going to have the Sport with the new 2-liter, probably no VTEC, probably a lower red line. It's probably going to be pretty boring, especially paired with a CVT. Then you're going to have the hybrid model, which is actually listed at 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque there in that sheet I was just showing. So that could actually make that car faster than the SI. Of course, it's going to weigh more. You're going to have a battery pack, but that extra torque, I'd be interested to see them compete in a drag race next year. You guys know I'm not really too much of a fan of the 1.5 turbo models from Honda. I talked about in my last video how it's many people and people that work on them, like Honda technicians, think it's the worst Honda engine ever made. Honda's had nothing but problems with them. Head gasket issues, injector failure, oil dilution, the list goes on. So it definitely was in Honda's best interest from a cost perspective to drop the 1.5 turbo from their lineup and go with a new platform that seems to be a little more reliable, since they're, you know, ditching the turbo on all their base Civic models now. But the SI is going to be, you know, your entry-level 6-speed manual Honda now, and that's going to be, you know, it's over $30,000 MSRP now. So with tax and everything, you're looking at $35,000 MSRP starting next year to get into a manual Honda. So it's really making it unaffordable for someone who wants just a reliable, fun stick shift daily. So Honda has given us that recipe for decades and decades, guys. We've had the naturally aspirated engine, and we've had the 6-speed manual, and a pretty affordable commuter car. This is the last of its breed, so pick one up as soon as you can, guys. This is the 2023, but 2024 is identical to this car. That will be the last year you can get a relatively affordable 6-speed manual Honda. This car has the reliable K20C2, and you're not going to have the 1.5 turbo issues. Thank you guys as always for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how disappointed you are with Honda's decision here, but let's be honest, we all saw it coming. Every other manufacturer is doing this as well. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.